Okay, so here's a look at the items that I got from Publix. First, here's just an overview. And what I'm gonna do with most of the items is I'm gonna juice them. So the first thing that you see here is the organic yellow squash, and I also got organic zucchini. I got Granny Smith green apples and Florida fresh oranges. I am buying local since I live in the state of Florida. And I got, what is this? These are the red seedless grapes. And I also got black seedless grapes. One thing I have to say with regards to grapes is that it's hard to find organic seeded grapes. I have never gone into a grocery store in my area and was ever successful in finding the seeded grapes. That is so important. If you guys know where I can get seeded grapes from, like black seeded grapes or Concord seeded grapes, please comment below and let me know where I can get those. I also got some Macintosh apples and organic bananas. In terms of low waste, I know people always talk about low waste and trying not to use plastics and so forth. Almost everything come in packages today. So it's so hard to not buy things with plastic wrappings on them. But that's my little take in terms of my show for the little grocery haul that I did today before we go on our road trip. I'm only buying small and light so that we can use up as much things as possible before we do leave. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, so I have decided that I am going to juice some celery as well as green apples. I'm juicing really and truly because I have fibroids. And with fibroids, my fibroids has gotten so big that it actually distorted my abdomen. And as I stated earlier, I've decided to go on this journey to try to heal my fibroids and heal it naturally, because my OBGYN gave me the ultimatum that the only option that I do have is to get a hysterectomy. I have to get a hysterectomy because my fibroids is about 6 centimeters large, the largest one that I have inside my uterus. So what fibroids is it is a non-cancerous benign tumor that is usually situated within the uterus or outside of the uterus of a female's body. Most women between the ages of 20 to about, I would say 50 before they get to menopause, end up having fibroids. Some, they don't know about the fibroids until it starts to give them trouble or they experience some kind of pain or discomfort. So here I am getting ready to juice, and I am trying to get everything together. I have my juice machine set up, and for the purpose of not naming the juicer that I'm utilizing, because it is it is not a paid or sponsored advertisement. I would just say that I am utilizing this juicer. I do like the juicer that I'm using here because it is one of those that the pulps, when juicing certain items, the pulp is dry. All right, so I'm making sure that I cut my apples and my celeries, and I'm making sure that everything is ready before I begin juicing. So back to talking about fibroids is I noticed that based on my research, if fibroids are over 10 centimeters and are left untreated, studies have found that they may grow even larger and potentially rupture in the uterus. Large fibroids can distort the shape of the uterus and cause damage to the surrounding organs, such as the bladder and the bowels. So that's why often an OBGYN would recommend a hysterectomy, because it can potentially cause problems, especially the really large ones. And at this point, I've had my fibroids has been extremely large, but I can tell you in the last 2 months, my fibroids have shrinked a lot. My stomach has gone down so much. And that is because I have been juice fasting, meaning I have purchased items such as organic beets, organic celery, grapes. I've purchased many natural items. I don't really use kale that often. I am not a kale fan. And I know that most times people recommend using kale because kale is so high in iron and vitamin B. But I'm not a kale fan. I have been using greens like dandelions and rainbow chard and just regular green chard. So right now I am cutting these Granny Smith green apples and preparing them for my juice. And in this particular juice, I have one lemon. I cut the skin off of the lemon. I have about 2 thumb sizes of ginger and celery. It is a really nice tasting. This is the first time I'm trying it with the green apples, and I'll let you know how that tastes. But normally I have done all of this combination with the regular red apples. Okay, so back to talking about the fibroids. Most of the times, if left untreated, fibroids can continue to grow, both in size and number. So sometimes when you have fibroids, it's like many fibroids that you have and a woman may have in their uterus. Those fibroids might be the size of a quarter to the size of a golf ball. The last time I measured my fibroids, I was told that it is larger than a golf ball, more so the size of a grapefruit, possibly even larger. But as I stated, the last 2 months I have been juice fasting and trying to, change my diet so that I can actually shrink my fibroids. Now, the juicer that I'm using, it's starting to rock, so I'm trying to adjust it. It rocks because it's something that I may not have done correctly with the initial setup, but I am going to get this to work. So I'm gonna flip this on and then turn it back off. But so far, I've enjoyed using this juicer. Now, with once those fibroids begin to grow and your symptoms become worse, it's often a sign that your fibroids is either getting bigger or something is going wrong in your body. And that has been my situation, where my fibroids has been getting, my pain monthly has been getting worse. And my bleeding has become heavier and heavier and even more intense to the point where I am sick for 3 days or more. And that's not something that I've been used to. I mean, I've heard other women say that they would be in pain, rolling on the ground for a while. And I've heard them say that, you know, the pain is often so unbearable. And I would use like a leaf to treat my pain and then go back to my same old routine, where I'd eat anything, and most of all, lack of exercise. Lack of exercise does contribute a lot to our fibroids. And many of you would wonder, you know, if that's the case, if you're in so much pain, why not have the hysterectomy? Why not have those fibroids removed? And yes, there are many ways to remove fibroids and many reasons for the removal of fibroids. Some may be because there may be a possibility of a person having a cancerous tumor eventually. And but most of the times the doctors doesn't recommend removing them unless those fibroids are bigger than 6 centimeters, which is 6 centimeters or bigger. And that was my case. My case was my fibroids were 6 centimeters. With regards to fertility, lots of women do have fertility issues with regards to fibroids, and it actually, I have heard that it lowers the pregnancy rate. So here I am. My juice is almost full, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready to release it right now. There you go. Okay. That's good. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead back and continue to complete the juicing. There you go. There's my celery. And it's so funny. It sounds like someone's chewing a piece of celery with this machine. It literally sounds like someone is chewing, like crunch, crunch, crunch. Yes, so it sounds like someone's chewing a celery. And but this is, I think it's the most healthiest route I have gone on in terms of definitely trying to heal my fibroids. I'm doing this because of the intense pain. And then me having to make the decision as to whether or not I want to have a surgery, and not knowing what the after effects may be after having a surgery. I felt like, you know what, let me try the natural way. Let me start to eat healthier. Let me try to intake more nutrition through my food. And I've been reading so many books lately that states, you know, Hippocrates quote, let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. So, with that said, I have been thinking of my food being my medicine and my medicine be my food. So I drink a lot of teas and I try to eat a lot more fruits and veggies. I've been reading several books that are mentally stimulating, especially books on how to heal your body naturally. And I feel like it is so important because as Westerners, we all grow up on the wrong eating habits. And we end up deciding after eating wrong from birth till adulthood, we decide that, okay, either we're going to continue on the route that we've been on because we enjoy what we eat and we love certain flavors and tastes and the crunch in certain things. Or here you see, there's the pulp. It's very dry. I'm taking it out with a knife because the celery creates so much fiber that it's almost hard for the shoot to bring it out. So there. See? But as you can see, the juice is filling up more, and there the fiber is very dry. It's one of this juice is one of the better ones I've had, and I really like it because many of the items that I juice tends to come out dry. Oh, the only ones that are not extremely dry when I process them through the juicer are grapes and watermelons and like more watery fruits and veggies. Cucumbers, they tend to have a little bit more water. But as you can see here, I'm almost full. Again, my green juice is almost full, and this green juice once again contains apples, Granny Smith green apples, celery, organic celery, ginger, 2 tums of ginger, and 1 lemon. And I cut the skin off of the lemon because it is not an organic lemon. It is lemons with the seeds in it. And there you go. See, I've released it. I really do enjoy juicing because it helps me to just visualize the healthy foods that I'm putting in my body. When you look at things or food like pasta and you think about how much of a process it goes through, and we end up putting this in our body and it lends no kind of nutritional, nothing nutritional that goes into our body. And you think about the fruits that we sell or vegetables that we seldomly eat and how they can they give us so much nutrients. And we're missing out on all of that. Almost everything that we eat that is processed is no good for us. All of the dead animals that we eat have already started to decompose. And then once we put them into our bodies again, they continue that decomposition. Now here I am, my green juice and my grape juice. There's a little bit of ginger. I'm telling you guys, this is the best tasting grape juice. It tastes better than the store-bought and the bottle grape juice. Look at the pulp that's coming out of it. And the grapes produce so much juice, so much. I love this juice. My son loves it. Look at how large those black grapes are. And those are the red grapes. Now, for me, what brought my doctor to suggesting that I do a hysterectomy is she sent me to have an ultrasound that is an internal ultrasound and an external ultrasound. And the external ultrasound checks for how large the mass is of the fibroids. And the internal one tends to count the number of fibroids and try to produce a measurement. Now, after having me go to get the ultrasound and she received the results, she went over the results with me and suggested to me that my fibroids are too large and that I do need to have a hysterectomy. But first she needs to do an MRI in order to diagnose the growth and to check to see if it is either malignant or benign. Now, uterine fibroids can be extremely debilitating. And often when we are placed in a position where we have to have a hysterectomy, it actually puts you in a premenopausal state. Okay, now there I am pouring my delicious grape juice into the jar. And I am telling you guys, you have to try this. This grape juice is extremely healthy because it is natural, first of all, and it tastes so good. This grape juice has ginger and black grapes and red grapes. The last time I made it, I included lemons and ginger. And this is truly a tasty drink. Now I'm pouring the rest of the juice in the bottle, and I am going to enjoy this. Okay, so now I'm going to unplug it. And I thank you guys so much for listening. Please like and subscribe. Sheena's Lifestyle Journey.